Hey, what's up? Hello. Welcome to episode 33 of She Thought She Could, So She Did podcast. I am excited about life, actually. I attended a conference this past week and it was off the chain. Let me just tell you, it was amazing, y'all. It's called the Women in Leadership and Philanthropy. It's an organization that is spearheaded by the First Lady of my alma mater, Coastal Carolina University. This was the 9th annual conference, and I mean, the caliber of speakers, we're talking about the mom and daughter who founded Elf on the Shelf, Janice Howard, who is a African-American woman who runs a multi-billion-dollar company, and she is an HBCU alum. She went to North Carolina A&T. She grew up during that segregated time in a small town in North Carolina, and she really made a way. She took $900 from her mom. Her mom gave her a loan of $900, and she built a multi-million-dollar company. So listen, amazing. Just amazing. Brittany Turner, she is under 30. I think she's 30 now, but she has been running a $100 million business. It's a real estate and project management development type business for the last 4 or 5 years. She was a server. She lived in her car. She went through the trenches and she self-taught herself a lot about real estate. And then she got an opportunity to attend a conference, and things just went up from there. She just connected to the right people, kind of got a mentor, for lack of better terms, worked under him for free for a while and learned the business, and she's been working it. And so I say all that to preface today's topic of trust transition. So think back to when you were, a child, as far back as you can think. Most of the time, our cognitive memory kicks in somewhere about 5 or 6. So we're talking like kindergarten, first grade, right? And you learned how to add, you learned how to color, you learned, shapes and spelling and all of these things. And then guess what you did? You transitioned. You went up to the next grade, and then you learned multiplication and division and long division and multiplying, multiple numbers. You went from 2 times 4 to 20 times 40, So you transitioned on to the next level, and then you went on to middle school, then you went on to high school, and then after high school, you either went to work, military, college, trade program, something. You transitioned. And so think about that process and how you honestly had no other choice but to trust transition, because transition was going to happen unless you got held back or something, drastic happened where your learning process halted or something. But you had to transition either way, because if something was wrong, you ended up in a developmental program, something happened, right? And you had no other choice. But when you become an adult, there comes some choice in that. And a lot of times as adults, for some reason, we lose that trust of transition. And I don't know why, but I want you to reinvest yourself, reinvest all of you into the process of trusting transition. As you grow, as you learn, as you evolve, as you develop, the same things won't serve you. You won't be able to serve the same people. You won't be able to sit at the same tables. You won't be able to do the same things. And guess what? Let me tell you a secret. It is okay. That is a part of life. Things change. The relationship that may have worked for you senior year through college, through your first few years of your 20s, it may not serve you now, because what if you and the person aren't growing on the same level? What if someone is surpassing the other person? And I know that there are some ways to work through that, but there are also some times where we're dragging on something that needs to end. You feel me? So I want you to commit to trusting transition. There are going to be friends who you can't give the same amount of time to that you gave time to before. You won't be able to hang out with them as much, or they won't be your automatic go-to because they may not understand the place you are in life. It is okay to trust transition. The job that you just knew you wanted, you were so excited to have it, you moved for it, you did this, you did that. It may not serve you forever, and that's okay. It is okay to trust transition and go into the unknown. So journey back for a few moments to that childlike mind. The first day of school came and you had no idea what fifth grade was about to bring. But guess what? You had no other choice but to go on to fifth grade and figure out what fifth grade was going to do, figure out how your teacher was going to be, how your friends were going to act, if you had new classmates, if you had transitioned to a new school, whatever that looked like. You had no other choice but to conquer it because you had to go to school. So frame your mind into that. You have no other choice but to trust transition. You want to grow, right? You're committed, right? And I know you're committed to something because you're listening to this podcast. You could be jamming out to your favorite tunes. You could be listening to the latest pop culture news. You could be doing anything, honestly, and you might be multitasking, but the fact that you have this in your ear shows that you're committed to yourself, your self-worth, your self-growth, your wellness, because those are the things that I talk about. Those are the things that I advocate for. So it shows that you're on the right path. But are you trusting transition? Are you okay with the unknown? Are you okay with stepping out of your comfort zone? Are you okay with not feeling, all the way 100 about something, but trying it out anyways, being a little risky, getting the air fryer and trying it out instead of dipping it in the grease, So I'm really feeling that right now. And I had another topic and I was like driving down the street and I was thinking about my own trajectory and I was like, just trust transition. Right now this is being recorded in February 2019. So if you're listening in real time, then you're catching this real time. But if you're listening later, just letting you know on that timestamp. But I am in a season of transition. I am transitioning a lot of things. My professional career is transitioning. My business is transitioning. I've had to make some decisions because my finances are transitioning. I just recently fully committed myself to the Dave Ramsey plan with a few moderate modifications because I don't have a child to save for the 529 or things, some different things like that. But for lack of better terms, I have committed to a strict spending and budgeting schedule, and that's hard. I've been pretty good with finances all of my adult life. I can't say I've been horrible at any given time, but I've just had some drastic changes occur over the last maybe 3 or 4 years that have forced me to make decisions that I would have not ever ever made as it related to some debt and some just small loans and use of consumer credit cards and things like that. And so in order to recover from that and to recoup and to just change my whole financial profile again, I am committed to a very, 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 very strict spending schedule. And it's rough. It's rough because it's even down to sometimes there are things that I want to donate to, not in the budget. It's gifts that I might want to buy, not in the budget. It's things that I might want to do, but if it's not in the budget, I just can't do it. But I do have a heart of gold, and there are things I'm like, okay, when the time comes, I can. Or there are things that if I know about them in advance, then yes, I can make the sacrifice. I can work it in. But if it's not worked in, it can't just pop up. So that's one of the things that's really transitioning. I haven't been able to spend as much time with my friends. I spent a lot for the last few years, but it's really, really serious now because I even halt on making long-term plans because of the transitions that are going on in my professional life. I don't necessarily know. So it's really hard for me to plan, weekend trips or, traveling abroad or certain things that I actually really love doing. But it's really hard to say whether or not I can do them because at this point in my professional career, I have to make some sacrifices in order to get where I want to be and do what I want to do long term. And so that might mean, if someone calls with, a gig, or if a client wants to work one-on-one and wants to add an extra session, a weekend of fun or relaxing or chilling, I can't have that when I could be doing, the other. So it's a lot, but trusting transition, you have to trust it, and you have to get in that childlike space of what if I had no other choice. And so if you are committed to your own success, and you are committed to your growth, and you're committed to your wellness, you won't mind trusting transition, because transition can be good. It can be good. Once we figured out how to conquer 5th grade, it was like, what? I got 5th grade. I'm good, So we have to get ourselves in the frame of mind of it is okay for things to change. It is okay for us to outgrow things, people, situations, all of that. Okay? It's a-okay, and it's going to happen. And I'm confident that as we continue to grow, whatever that means for us, whatever stage of life we're in, as you continue to grow, those things will consistently evolve. The toddler and the teenager are nothing alike, but they're the same person, so it's not, don't think that you're changing yourself or you're becoming fake, quote unquote, or phony, quote unquote. No, you're evolving, you're growing, you are becoming, you are committing to your life journey. So with that being said, it's nothing to be apologetic about. You're the same human. You're just developing, you're maturing, you're becoming into a different element, a different person for, in the natural sense, not a totally different human, but in the natural sense, you're just becoming. And so, speaking of becoming, my goodness, shameless plug, not endorsed by Michelle Obama. She did not pay for this advertisement, but Auntie, I hope I get to meet you one day and tell you all about it. But if you have not read Becoming, or you do not have it on your list for 2019, get it on there. You talk about inspiring. It is inspiring. Now, I will say that there's a lot in it as it relates to her and Barack and becoming, but that's the name of the book, Becoming. And it's, becoming Michelle, and then, becoming us, and us meaning, her and Barack, her and the children, her, Barack and the children. Then once Barack committed fully to the political realm of running, he ran for different other things before president. So when campaigning was like a second nature, and what all of that looked like. But in all of that, you hear her trusting transition. You hear the resilience of when she was a lawyer, for crying out loud. Her parents had sacrificed so much for her to go to law school, and she decided hey, I kind of want to do something else. She started working in public policy and in different sectors. And this is not a spoiler. All of this is stuff that you can know without reading Becoming. So this isn't a spoiler, but she just transitioned, taking less pay in order to just be in a different realm of people and get resources and get connections. And then it ended up being a great opportunity. And then once she became a mom, having to find something that was conducive to that lifestyle. So just a lot of transitions, but in her story and in her transparency, there's so much strength and so much resilience, and just, just magic. And so if you are in need of a pick-me-up, if you are in need of a motivational push, or if you are in need of just being able to connect with someone who a lot of us look up to and think, is, oh my God, amazing, check out that book to hear that story of becoming that amazing person. And in listening to an interview with her and Oprah that said something about, when we become a leader, or when someone perceives us as a leader, we just have to fall into the role. We can't, not me. We can't neglect it. We can't downplay ourselves. We have to fall into the role and figure out how we're going to lead. What is it that we are going to do to be that example? So that book, y'all, I'm raving on that one just as much as last year when I was raving on Soar by T.D. Jakes, Building Your Vision from the Ground Up. Still raving on that. So if you haven't read it, shameless plug, go back and get it. I am trying to read 2 books per month, all 2019. So I need to solidify my book list and go ahead and post that on the I Am She blog, so you guys can join me and keep me accountable, and I keep you accountable. If you're on Goodreads, find and follow me, Tabitha D. James. Find my page so that we can hold each other accountable all 2019 for these reading goals. So that's it. Trust transition, be in the space, and success leaves clues. And one thing about people who are successful, they didn't negate to go for it. The road may have been cloudy. The resources may have not been there. They honestly may have had no idea what they were doing, but they went for it. And so go for it, trust transition, and do what you got to do. And I'm going to leave you with this quote from a shirt that I was able to purchase at the conference. It says, as we move forward, we reach back to lift up the next woman. As we move forward, we reach back to lift up the next woman. So lift up another woman, whether it be a young woman, a middle-aged woman, or older woman. Lift up the next woman. Lift up the next person. Dedicate yourself to humility, gratitude, and service. And I promise you, it'll be a little easier to trust the transition because you will get the energy that you need. Until next time, see you later.
Hey you. Hey friend, I know you enjoyed today's episode, so I need you to do me a huge favor. Rate, review, and share the podcast. This space, this intentional space, it is amazing. You guys are sharing comments on Facebook and Instagram and shooting me emails and text messages. I greatly appreciate it. And I just need this one huge favor for you to rate, review, and share the podcast so others all across the world can get on this wave, okay? Promise me you'll do it. And I'm gonna give you a thank you in advance. See you later.